Sanjay here. Mom will welcome you all for this 30 days full stack web development masterclass series, day 18. And I hope you guys are super excited for this today's session as well. So if you are excited, just give your comments in the live chat. So first of all, today, the day 18, which is gonna be categorized into different categories. Okay. So because from this point, we are going to step into the deployment, because up to now, we guys have developed a lot of things in the aspects of, real web application for different various purposes. But right now we are stepping into the deployment stage, where how we are going to move our application for the testing department, or how you are going to move your application in the cloud platform so that your application is going to be running for 24/7. So likewise, we are going to explore a lot more things on that aspects. The first thing which we are going to explore is a Docker. I think a lot of people are really excited for this session. Docker. You might have heard this term in a lot of places, but today we are going to step into the hands-on, and I hope you guys are ready and excited for it. So first of all, while talking about these things, you really wanted to understand two things. One is virtual machines versus containers. So guys, you might have heard about, you might already know about the operating systems, right? There are Linux operating system, Mac OS is there, Windows is there, and even in each and everything, there are a lot of versions out there. You just imagine if you are really using a Windows laptop. In that Windows laptop, if you want to use a Linux operating system or Mac operating system, you need VM. You need a virtual machine. So that is the tool. There are a lot of virtual machines out there. You can install that VM in your Windows laptop, and you can bring up the complete OS file, which means like in your Windows laptop, if you want to use Mac OS, you need to bring up the complete Mac operating system ISO file or IMG file, and you need to burn into the virtual machine. And inside, whenever you are opening the virtual machine, you can able to access the Mac operating system. But here, if you have clearly noticed something, you need to have the whole machine, whole operating system. Right now, I have Windows 11 in my laptop. Same as like if you want to use a Mac operating system, you need to have the complete Mac operating system, which need to be burned into the virtual machine. So first of all, you need to log in as a Windows user, and inside that, you need to open your virtual machine. And inside the virtual machine, you just want to click the Mac operating system, which you are burnt inside it, and you need to open it. That's what the normal procedure on virtual machine. So it is going to consume the whole, memory space of the complete operating system. So that is what the virtual machine. Whereas the container is different, because you just imagine one thing. You are creating one application. So that application to be tested by your testing team. What if they really want to test your application, but you have developed that, but if they really want to test it, it is not possible. Like they need to bring up all the operating system, all the things which they have. Instead, there is another category called containers. Okay, I hope you guys have got a clear idea and difference between the virtual machine and containers. So virtual machine, definitely it is going to occupy the whole complete operating system space, whereas container won't. Okay, container is going to have only our applications, backend files, front-end files, or it is going to have all the libraries and dependencies. Those things is going to be only carried out by the containers. So that is what the difference between VM and containers. On that aspects, first of all, we are stepping into the Docker. So guys, as I've already told you, whenever you're talking about the application development, you are used to create an application. And if that application need to be tested by your testing team, they want to follow all the procedure which you have did. For an example, installing that library, and installing using these functions, and setting up your laptop for your project, like which you have set it. So same as like the testing team want to set out for an example, if Sanjay is the developer of a certain web application, and he just completed one to-do app or something, or video testimonial tool or something. If your testing team want to test your video testimonial tool application, so all your testing team, they want to install all the software, all the library, which Sanjay have used it, or Sanjay have used to develop that application. So that is where Docker is coming. So whenever Docker is there, what you can do is, you might use 100 libraries. You might use a lot of functions, lot of softwares and lot of things, but you have created one single application. So instead of all the work which you have done, if they really want to test that application, they don't want to do all the things you have done. Instead, once you have created your application, you can convert that as a Docker image and you can put it inside the Docker Hub or something. So where that testing team or anyone, they can able to install just a Docker and they can able to fetch the application which you have pushed into the Docker Hub. Easily they can able to execute it. They don't want to install anything which as a developers you guys have installed or you guys have set it up. Okay, I hope you have got a clear idea. I'm repeating it again, very simple. If I'm creating one web application, I might use 50 libraries or I might use 10 libraries. I might use a lot of softwares and etc. So if that needed to be moved on to the testing team, if the testing team want to test your application, they also should install all the software which you have tried, all the library which you have used, everything they want to set up. So to overcome that problem, there is a Docker where you can create an application and you can convert as a Docker image and you can push into the Docker Hub. So whenever there is a testing team, they really want to test their application, they can able to pull the application which you have created in the Docker and they can able to easily test it. Guys, I hope you guys have got a clear idea. So that's what the thing. Look out that Docker is an open source platform designed to automate the deployment, scaling, and management of applications. So it achieves through the containerization. As I've already told you, you don't want to have a whole complete virtual machine to have one operating system. Instead, it is going to use a containerization where all the applications, all its dependencies like libraries or all the additional dependencies files which you really need, everything which is gonna be kept in one portable container, okay, where it can be accessed from any system. Even here you have created one web application and you have containerized it and you have pushed it to the Docker Hub. If anyone is using Mac operating system, they can able to pull that request from that Docker Hub and they can able to easily execute it. They'll be getting an output. That's what the very important benefits. On that, talking about these things, while talking about the containers, it is lightweight, standalone and executable packages. Hope you got it. So it can be a code or libraries or functions, anything, okay? So which you have a bundle of folder, right? Which is having all the files and you might have installed a lot of libraries and specific versions. So everything which is gonna be kept in one lightweight standalone executable package. So it is gonna be packaged. So anyone who are all pulling that package from Docker Hub, they can able to easily execute it without doing what as a developer you guys have done. And while talking about images are read-only templates used to create a container. So as I've already told you, all your files which is gonna be put that inside the containers. So whenever you're talking about the containers, those libraries and everything which is going to be converted as a Docker images. So that is what the Docker images is all about, where that Docker image which is going to be kept in the containers, and that containers which is going to be pushed or pulled, those things is going to be done. Whereas if you're talking about the third thing, a Docker file, you just imagine if we are creating a video testimonial web application, you need to create a Docker file. That Docker file which should have the instructions that how it need to be containerized. Okay, hope you are clear how it need to be converted as an image file and which file you need to convert, where all the dependencies, everything which you need to specify in a one code part or one script part. So that is the rules and regulations that is going to be holding out the instructions to convert your code into a Docker image. That is what the Docker file is. Whenever you're talking about the Docker Hub, as I've already told you, your testing team don't want to install all the things you have installed. Instead, they can pull the Docker file from the Docker Hub. So that is where it is going to have all my application. For an example, that video testimonial tool which has been created by Sanjay, and I'm going to put my username like Sanjay, or is a hub / demo app or web video testimonial app for Panda.ai or what is way. So likewise, I've created one application and I've just put it inside a Docker Hub. It is like a Google Drive. You are going to give some name and you're going to push it to it is going to be online available. So whenever there is a testing team, they should install the Docker. So they can able to use my URL to pull the Docker file from my Docker Hub. okay, from that Docker Hub. So that Docker Hub is the place where all the images which is going to be present inside. So whenever the people really requires any application, they can able to easily pull it and they can able to easily execute it. It's going to be very simple. That's what the Docker Hub. And while talking about the Docker commands, I've given some basic Docker commands, guys. Please go and read the documentation. That's what I always used to suggest you. Simply just see basic commands. Whenever you are using Docker run, which is going to be helpful for creating and starting a container from an image. As I've already told you, you have one folder which is having image folder, video folder, CSS folder, HTML folder, or JavaScript folder, or SAS, or any files you have was like a one folder, right? So that need to be converted as an image, right? So this Docker run, which is going to be helpful for creating and starting a container from an image. So that is what the Docker run is. Whereas if you're talking about the Docker build an image from a Docker file. As I've already told you, Docker file, which is going to have all the instructions, which is going to give the instruction about how that data which is needed to be converted as an image file. So that is what the Docker file is. So Docker build, which is going to be helpful for building an image from the Docker file. That's the second important point. And third important point is Docker pull. Download any image from a registry. As I've already told you, if I am the developer, I am going to push the data or my Docker image or the file into the Docker Hub. Whereas Docker pull, which is nothing but whenever the testing team out there, if they really want to test their application from their laptop, so they can able to pull the data from the Docker. That's what the pull and push. Push is sending the data into the sending the application, pushing the data into the Docker Hub. Whereas pulling is nothing but it is like grabbing the file from the Docker Hub and they can able to execute in their laptop. And Docker PS list running containers. So what are all the containers out there? If you really want to see what are all the containers out there which is running, so you can able to use the command like Docker PS. And Docker stop a running container. If there is any container which is already running, if you really want to stop that container, you can able to use the command like Docker stop. And Docker RM is nothing but if there is a container which you have created, but you have changed it or you have modified it or that project has been cancelled or you are really completely renovated it. So if you don't want the old containers, you can able to easily delete it with the help of Docker RM. And Docker RMI, which is going to be helpful for instead of removing a container, you can able to specifically remove the image of the Docker. So that is what the basic commands. I hope you guys have got a clear idea, guys. Okay, if you have got a very good idea, you just post IGT in your live chat. So I'm creating, or actually we are creating a web application like video testimonial recorder tool. But that tool needed to be tested by the testing department. So they don't want to install all the libraries, all the software which you and me guys have installed. Instead, we can create or we can, once we have completed our application, but I need to give that application for their for the testing department. They don't want to install all the things which we guys have installed. Instead, we can convert all those things as a Docker image and we can push into the Docker Hub. So testing team or anyone who want to test your application, they can install Docker in their system and they can pull the application which you have created into their laptop and they can able to easily test it without even installing anything. Okay, except the Docker. Okay, so that's what this process is. I hope you guys have got a clear idea. And right now we'll step on to the demo part. Once you are stepping into the demo part, I think you can able to understand it very clearly. I hope you guys are ready. Now, what is the first procedure? What is the first procedure is you need to install the Docker desktop in your laptop. So to do that, what you just do? So I'm just going to go into this URL. So docker.com/product/docker-desktop. Look out that there is an option like download for Windows. Okay, what you just wanted to do is you just want to click that download for Windows option. Okay, is it clear? You just simply click download for Windows and make sure whether it is an exe file. If it is an exe file, that is going to be based on that. So for even for Mac and for Linux, everything which is available. And just imagine or just remember, look out that for Intel chip or for MacBook, the people who are using a MacBook with M chips, you need to use Apple chip option. Those people who are all using old MacBooks, which is having an Intel processor in it, please use Intel chip. Otherwise, if you are using a Windows user, you just simply click download for Windows. That's it. Okay. Once you have downloaded it, please click that file and complete your installation. But while installing, like open the downloadable, the .exe file, you just double click it and make sure to enable the WSL2 features during installation. Yes, while installing the Docker, it might show you an option like you need to enable the WSL2 feature. Please enable that and install it. Once you have installed it, it will ask you to restart, guys. Please go and do the restart. Okay, don't get feel lazy, because most of the application, it won't ask you to do a restart, but some application definitely it asks you to do. So please, once you have completed the installation process, first, what's the procedure? First, go into this URL and click the respective file for Windows or Mac or Linux and double click the exe file. While installing, it might ask you to check option for WSL2 feature. Just enable that and install it, complete your installation. And if it is asking for a restart, please restart your laptop. Once you have restarted your laptop, you can open your Docker Hub. So what you can do is you can just simply type Docker desktop. Okay. So this is how you can able to open the Docker in your laptop. And once it's started opening, it will ask you to do a login. So please create an account, because through that only we are going to push our application which we are creating into the Docker. So only that. So for that, we really need the login. So you just wanted to do it. Okay. So yeah, it is just opening. Look how that it is showing starting the Docker engine. So yeah, so here at the top, I've already logged in. So to log out, you can just click it and you can click. So this is how it will be looking like. But initially, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click sign out. Look how this is how the file, everything which is going to be shown for you. Okay, it is opening for the login. Shall I log in or not, or kind of thing. Okay, you have been signed out. Okay, that's great. Yeah, it has been signed out. Okay, now it is just showing like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in it. And before logging it, just make sure in which account you need to open the Docker, or you need to sign in, and you need to choose the respective browser. Okay, here I'm using this Warriors Way Hub. So I'm just going to open it and I'm going to click sign in. So whenever I sign in, it is going to open a tab in that place where you have the browser, okay, which has been already opened. So now I'm just going to click Google, connect with Google. So I'm just going to click this. hub@gmail.com. So once you have given that, so it is going to get you in. Yes, you are almost done, and you can able to see this kind of page. Okay, is it clear? So this is how you can able to log in a Docker account. And yeah, just look at that, the name which has got appeared. So, and also it might ask you a name. Okay, even if I want you guys to me to show you again in a different account, I can do that, because that username is the very important thing. Is even you might have heard about the GitHub and those things. It's having a separate username. Same as like whenever you are creating this Docker Hub, definitely it will ask you to give the username for it. So you should give that. Okay, right now I'm going to click that. Where is your hub? Tamil@gmail.com or something. Okay, it is the first time, so that's why it is asking, like continue and those things. Whenever you are clicking continue, it is going to ask you the username for it. Yeah, so it is going to be looking like this. So here I'm going to give Sanjay. Going to give the name like Panther.ai or something like that. So likewise, I've given right here, and yeah, so okay, use 4 to 30 letters only. Okay, digits only. It is not allowing me to give any other thing. So I'm going to give Sanjay Panther.ai. Okay, no symbols, and click sign up. So once you have clicked the sign up, so your Docker, which is going to open as a fresh, it is going to have nothing. Okay, you are almost done. So I'm going to click open Docker. So once you have did that, it is going to be fresh. Okay, it is going to have nothing. Okay, so here, these are all the files, which is all previous files. So right now, let me choose like this. Okay, yeah, this is how it is going to be shown. Okay, so on the left hand side, you can see the containers and images and volumes and bills, everything which is going to be shown here. So I am in this page. So this is your first procedure. I hope you guys are clear about the first procedure, how we have installed, the Docker. Okay, so that's what the first setup. So once you have done that, verify installation by going into the command prompt, and you should type the docker space -- version. So to do that, what you just want to do, you just want to open your command prompt, just open it. So once it got open, just type docker space -- version. So if you have did that, you should see this Docker version 26.1.1. If you can't able to see that, if you are getting an error like Docker is not found, even though you have completed installing your Docker, if you are facing that type of error, please restart your laptop and try it again. So that definitely will get, so you should get this output. So if you are getting this output, that's it. Okay, the Docker has been successfully installed in your laptop. That's what the step number 1. And while talking about the step number 2, right now we are going to create a fresh new application. Okay, so to do that, what I'm going to do is, so look at that. I just created an empty folder. Okay, in this empty folder, we are going to start creating an application. To do that, okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to right click and I'm going to open it in the Visual Studio Code. So once it got open in the Visual Studio Code, we are going to start working with, creating directories and etc. So to do that, okay, so I'm going to click that folder option. I'm going to give the name like my app. So that's what the name which I've given. Look at that. So my app. So I just got into the my app. So now we are going to start installing all the things which has been required. So to do that, first of all, we need to initialize the Node.js project. To initialize the Node.js project, I hope you already know the procedure. You just open your new terminal, and very important, please don't initialize the Node.js projects and all out of the application. Just be careful, because you can see the demo is the directory which has been shown. First of all, you need to go into the directory, cd space, you can press tab so that it is going to automatically suggest what all the folders which is present in it, and you can hit enter. Now go into the folder. First, we guys have gone into the my app folder, then initialize npm space init space -y. So whenever you are doing this, it will install all the required packages. I mean, it is going to initialize the Node.js. So how you can able to find out, Sanjay, if I've installed or if I configured this, how can I able to find out whether whether this Node.js has been configured? You can able to expand that folder. So you should see that package.json file, which is going to be available. So this is what the proof where you have initialized the Node.js project. So that is how it is going to look like. Okay, hope you are clear with this. This is what we have got. And once it got, now it's time to install Express, packages. So to do that, I hope you already know npm space install space Express. You can go here and you can type like this and you can hit enter. So it will install the Express node packages into it. So that's what the second procedure is. The first procedure is we guys have installed the Docker and we guys have created an account and we guys have set it up. Like we guys have even verified whether the Docker has been installed properly or not. And second procedure, we guys have created one empty directory and we guys have initialized the Node.js project. And also we guys have installed the Express things. Okay, yeah, look at that. It has also been installed successfully. So now we are going to create an index file. So guys, so here I want to make this application to be very, very simple, because instead of directly jumping onto the project, I really wanted to navigate you into a slow phase. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one new file out of this directory. Okay, I'm already in the my app folder, and I'm going to create the index.js. Okay. So just carefully watch. Inside the my app, node modules are there, and inside that, outside the node modules, here we have index.js and package-log.json and package.json. So here we have index.js. So this is what the code. So it's very simple code. I hope you already know this. We guys have used the get method. So whenever people are accessing this website, it is going to show the hello world. That's what the application is. Okay, don't think like it is very harder. It's very simple. So simply who are all visiting the URL, like http://localhost : port number is a 3000, they can able to see the message called hello Docker. That's what we are going to do. Okay, we are not going to do anything bigger. So this is what index.js file. Very, 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 very simple application. I haven't done anything big. Very, very simple application which we have created. So once your application is ready, guys, don't think that's it. Okay, whenever you are creating a video testimonial application, once you have got to find out that your video testimonial application is working well, then you need to create the Docker file. Other than that, first, up to this point, it is not only on index.js file, it is all creating your application. If you have found out that your application is working fine, then we are going to step into the deployment stage. Okay, in this point, you need to have complete creating your application. So you should have tested it. Okay, whenever you are posting a localhost colon 3000, your application should show the output. Your application should work perfectly. Only then you need to move on to the Docker file creation. So on creating a Docker file, it's going to be very, very, amazingly simple, because what you just do is you just want to create the file. What is the Docker file, which we guys have already learned? Docker file, which is going to have all the instruction how that it need to convert that as a Docker image. That's what the Docker file it should have. So on that aspect, so I am in this my app. So I'm going to click the new file and I'm going to give the name like Docker file. So this is how which we guys have created Docker file. Right now it is empty. Look at that, how I've named it, and even the icon which has also been changed. Guys, here the very most important thing. Here I directly jump onto the Docker creation and etc. But whenever you are installing it in the Visual Studio Code, it will give you the pop-up. So once you have created the Docker, it will automatically give you one pop-up. Should I install the Docker extension or not? Please don't forget to install it. Okay, otherwise it won't work. Please, whenever it is showing you the suggestions like, do I want to install the Docker because you have created a Docker file, please install it. I have already installed it. Please, even if you are a fresher, if there is any notification, definitely it will show the pop-up. But if it is not shown, please go to the extension. So on the left-hand side, there is an extension. Please simply type Docker. And Docker by Microsoft. Look out that a lot of people have downloaded 93 ratings out there. This is why the 5. Please click that install and please install the Docker. So if you haven't did that, it won't work. Please install the Docker extension. Once you have installed the Docker extension, just carefully watch the code from node:14. So use the official Node.js image as the base image, because as I've already told you, we are going to convert everything as an image file. So to convert everything as an image file, initially it is going to put one base, okay, node base, that is a first line. And second line, it is going to create a working directory like /user/host/app and copy package.json and package log.json, because here I have this files like package.json and package log.json. First of all, it is going to copy all those files into it and run space npm space install. So what it will do, it will install all the required dependencies and copy the rest of the application code. So already we guys have copied both the things and then we have installed the library. So now it's time to copy all the files we have. So that's what the copy and expose into 3000 as a port number. So that's what we guys have configured. And command to run the application node space index.js, right? So I hope you already know. If you want to run any application which you have created, how you will run in the name of like this, right? So node space index.js or likewise. So you'll be running in this way, right? So app running in this localhost 3000, and whenever we are really opening it in the browser, you'll be running like this, right? So localhost 3000. So this is how you will be running your application, right? Look out that hello Docker. So this is how you will be running an application. Same as like in the Docker file, we are given that instruction. What is the command it should execute is node space or node comma index.js. This is a tool command, right? So here you have run like this, right? Wait a minute, guys. Let me change. Yeah, just carefully watch. So here, what is the command we have given? Node space index.js. So the same command, instead of running in the command prompt or terminal, here we have given as a command. So whenever the Docker file is there, Docker file is going to copy package.json into it, package log.json into it, and it is going to copy all the file repository into the certain folder, and it is going to use the port number 3000, and also it is going to execute the command like node space index.js. That's what we have given inside the square braces. So I hope you all are really thinking like it's very simple. If it is simple, guys, you just post super simple in your live chat. And once it has been done, now it's time to create a Docker image. You're already in the project directory. Now we are going to build our application. Is it clear? Okay, so still now we guys have written the instruction. We just only, we guys have just wrote only the instruction, but still now we haven't converted those things as an image. So now we are going to convert those things as an image. To convert those things in an image, just remember Docker file should be present inside. If there is no Docker present inside, you can't able to convert as an image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be into this terminal and make sure you are inside this app folder, which is having this Docker file into it. And you need to execute the command docker space build space -t space my app space dot. Okay, so whenever you are really going to hit enter, it is going to convert as an image. So dot, which is going to represent everything which is present in it. So now it is converting as an image. Okay, is the process and the procedures are very, very simple, right? Look at that. So naming the docker.io, exporting into an image, exporting layers, writing image. Look at that. It just converted that as a Docker image. So even though it converted as a Docker image, you can't able to see that. Okay, you can't able to see that. No worries. Definitely will be proceeding it further. Okay, so it isn't shown any error, right? Other than that, it just shown like this. Okay, exporting and everything. There is no any red color warnings or error, nothing. So we guys have converted our normal application into a Docker image. That's what the procedure we have did in the 5th step. And in the 6th step, what we need to do is we need to run the Docker container. So run the Docker container using a built image. Right now, we guys have run this. We guys have converted as an image. So right now we are going to run that. Okay, so here we guys have built the Docker image, but right now we are going to run the Docker image which we have created in the previous step. Is it clear? Here we guys have given one instruction. Here we guys have converted as an image, and here we are going to run that application by using a port number. So to do that, just go to the terminal again, and you can execute docker space run space -p and a port number and application name. So whenever you are hitting enter, so how it is going to be shown. Okay, wait a minute, let us check. App running at http:/localhost 3000. But right now, just remember, right now we are just running the, okay, just carefully remember, before we have executed the same project, right? But when we have opened the browser and we guys have given like localhost :3000 and all, before localhost :3000, which has been executed directly from my application node space index.js, we have given directly. But right now it is running from the Docker image. Hope you guys really understood the difference between previous one and this one. Previous one, here in the terminal itself, I've run node space index.js. But right now, I'm not doing that. Instead, I'm running the docker space run space -p 3000:3000 my app. So what it is doing, it is really running the image file we have created from an application. Is it awesome? So right now, when you have opened your browser, when you have given that localhost :3000 to, you can able to see the application running inside the Docker container. That's what the very important thing. Okay, previously it is from the normal application, but right now it is running and it is showing you that hello Docker message from the Docker container. But yeah, this is what we guys have done. But it is not only that. Even if you really going to run multiple Docker containers, that is all can be done with the help of this Docker Compose, and you can use this YAML script. What's the thing is, Docker Compose is a tool for defining and running multi-container Docker application. So here we are simply seeing one example, right? Like only one container, and inside that it is going to have that message like hello Docker, it is going to print up. But whenever you really want to create a multiple container, so that can be done with the help of Docker Compose. So whenever you're talking about the Docker Compose, it is going to use YAML file to configure the application services, networks, volumes, everything you will be defining inside that YAML file. Is it clear? Don't worry, I will on the upcoming days, I'll try to show additional, multiple Docker containers. But right now, just remember why the Docker Compose is going to be used for. So Docker Compose is going to be used for to defining and running a multi-container Docker application. So for that, you need to create one file name called docker-compose.yml file. Importantly, YAML file. So in that YAML file, you need to specify the version, build, or that services, networks, everything which you need to define into it. And whenever you are really running again, so the multiple Docker container which can able to be running. But right now, we are not going to do the Docker Compose right now in this example. So now, just carefully remember, we have already run that application individually and it worked well. It just printed the message like hello Docker. And then we guys have converted as a Docker image, and we guys have executed the Docker image from that container. Again, we have posted the localhost colon 3000 here. Again, it just worked well, hello Docker. Now it's time to push into the Docker Hub, so that if there are around 10 of your testing team, anyone can able to pull the file or application which you have created from the Docker Hub. So that is what the Docker Hub is, right? So what you need to do is to push your Docker into your, to push your working Docker image into your Docker Hub. First of all, you can terminate this. Okay, you don't want this Docker images need to be running continuously. Even you can just simply delete it. Okay, right now what we are going to do is we are going to push this Docker file into your Docker Hub. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. I hope you all are really feeling very, very easy. If you are really feeling it's easy, you just post easy Sanjay in your live chat. So first of all, I'm going into my app application, and I'm going to use the command docker space login. Just imagine, guys, there is one Google Drive. If you want to put your file into the Google Drive, first you need to log in as a Google Drive, as an admin user. So then only you can able to put that file into a Google Drive, right? As same as like, if you want to push your Docker image into a Docker Hub, you need to log in first. That's why here we are using a docker space login, and make sure you have opened that browser as last. And I'm going to hit enter. So it is going to give the message like authenticating with credentials. Okay, right now it automatically shown like authenticating with existing credentials. So what you can do is you can simply type Docker and hit enter. So it is going to show you all the list of options is going to be available. Look out that Docker config string, config wait, and unpause stop. So all the default, all the commands which you might really require in your application, that is going to be shown for you. Look out that. Okay, look how that. So all the information, okay, display system-wide information, version, or log into the registry or log out to the registry. So everything which is gonna be shown like this. Okay, even if you really want to execute any command from this, you can just use these command to execute what the thing which you really want. For example, info. Okay, what you can do is you can simply type docker space info and you can hit enter. So this is what the procedure, guys, where you can able to check it out, each and every syntax. Okay, you don't want to depend on any instructor. You can just dependent on based on the documentation which has been given by them. Look out that it is giving all the informations like plugins, login driver, and storage, and how many containers totally it has, and how many things it is all running, and how many things which is all stopped. Everything which has been shown for you. Look out that, right? So is it clear? So if it is super clear, you just post super clear Sanjay in your live chat, guys. Okay, even it is also having a history of option, guys. It is going to show all the history which you have used to create it with the help of this Docker. Everything which is going to be shown. Look how that login, images, push, pull, run, execute, everything which is going to be shown for you. So right now we just created an account. So it just logged in. So once it got logged in, now we are going to tag your image. So to do that, what is the tagging is your application with a username. So what is my Docker current username is, which is sanjaypantek.ai, right? So what you wanted to do is, if you really want to tag your application into your username, so you can tag in this way. So to do that, first thing, Docker space, tag space, my app, your application name, and what is the username of your Docker. Okay, so here I have a username which is sanjaypantek.ai. Okay, let us try Pantek AI. Okay, so just make sure whether the Docker username is same. So Sanjay Pantek.ai, that's what the name. So in my code to tag your file into your username, so I've given Docker space, tag space, my app, the application name, and Sanjay Pantek.ai slash my app colon latest. So I'm going to hit enter. Okay, it got tagged. So once it got tagged, we are going to give the next instruction to push the image into a Docker. So it's very simple. The same command, you can press up arrow to automatically fill it. And instead of doing a tagging, right now we are going to push our application. PUSH. Okay, once you have pushed it, okay, it is giving the message like my app. Okay, so Docker space push my app. Okay, it's giving like this. Okay, wait a minute. What you can do is, so once it got tagged, now I'm going to delete. Oh my God. So Docker space, push space, my app. So I'm going to hit that, enter. So once you have hit enter, okay, requested access to resources denied. Okay, resource denied is there. First of all, let us do the Docker logout. And whenever you are logging out, so it is gonna be logged out right now. Here I can log in that. Okay. So what you just want to do is you just open that browser first. And once you have opened the browser, then you can just open your Docker and click a sign in. So once you have signed in, so what it will do is it will be signing on in your here. Okay, it got signed in. Okay, refine credentials. Okay, so just opening. Yeah, just got it. Okay, so Sanjay at Pantek.ai, and if you are even checking out these things like account settings, it is going to be logging in and is going to show all the information. Okay, so that's what it has been showing. Okay, here you can able to see the email address and the password, all the information. Even if you really want to log in with the help of this, you can able to do that. Okay, so what we are going to do is first we have got this window. First we need to tag that image, right? So to tag in, I've already logged in, so I'm going to tag it with the help of this Docker space, tag space, my app space. I'm going to give Sanjay Pantek AI. I'm going to hit enter. Okay, tagged it. And now it's time to push that into my. Okay. And it requires only one argument. Let me give. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push in this way. Let me try. Okay, just carefully watch. So how I just push the data, which is like Docker space, push space, my username slash my app. Okay, what is the file or with the username, I just pushed it. So that's why it is keep on getting uploaded. Look how that. So it is going to be waiting, mounted from. It is going to take some time, and it is everything which is going to be pushed into my Docker Hub. And now it's time to test our application. To test it, what I've did is I just brought my colleague's laptop. I'm going to connect through an AnyDesk. And there I've already installed the Docker, and I'm going to execute the command to get the application which is going to work in my testing team. Okay, I hope you guys are excited, and just watch this. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect my team through AnyDesk. So it's my colleague's laptop, so which I'm going to connect it from an AnyDesk application. Yeah, guys. So actually, this is the my colleague's laptop, so which we have got this window. So what I'm going to do is, actually my colleague haven't installed anything. Like he didn't install Node.js, he didn't install Express, he didn't install anything. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to install the Docker. Actually, already I've installed the Docker in his laptop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type the Docker in his laptop. Okay, I've already installed it. So what you also wanted to do is, if any testing team is out there, so they really want to install Docker in their system first. So they also wanted to create their accounts. Okay, for an example, look out that. So this Docker which has been created in the name of like AJ Abhishek 23. So in my colleague's laptop, I've installed the Docker. It's the same first procedure. Okay, I've installed the Docker in his laptop, and I also give the username, and this is ready. Okay, the Docker has been in the login stage. So right now, guys, always remember, this is not my laptop. This is my colleague's laptop, okay, which we guys have accessed. And right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to access the command prompt. Okay, command prompt of not my laptop, his laptop, remote desktop. Okay, I think this demonstration, a lot of people are not showing you, but I hope you really love this. So once you have opened the command prompt of my colleague laptop, so now I'm going to log in. So Docker login. So whenever I'm going to give a Docker login, so here it is going to authenticate with existing credential. Look out that you should get the message like login succeeded. Otherwise, you can't able to access my Docker file. Okay, so once it is given, so now to pull the request or to access the application, you can use the command like docker space run space -p 3000:3000 your Docker Hub username /my app. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give that information, docker space run space -p 3000:3000 space your Docker application username. So what is this application's username? You should not give your your colleague's username and all. You should give your application, because this is the application which we have pushed together. So on that aspects, what is that name is Sanjay Pantek AI and /my-app. So whenever I'm hitting enter here, so okay, it is a failed programming external connectivity. Okay, space run port is already allocated. Okay. So look how that. So since because I just got a output like that port number which has been already in use. So now I just tested with a different port number like 3001 kind of thing. So again, it just given the port number like http://localhost 3000. So why? Because even though here we are using a 3001, why it is because it's giving a localhost 3000 is because because here in the application which we have created, we guys have used that port number. So that's what it's all about. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open the browser. Yeah, we just opened the browser and I'm just going to hit that localhost 3000. Ta-da! So we guys have got a message like hello Docker. Guys, is it simple? Okay. So in my colleague's laptop, I haven't installed the Node.js. I haven't installed anything. Simply, I created an account in a Docker in my friend's colleague's laptop, and I just logged in with his own email, not even my email, his own email. I just logged in his Docker account, and I just signed in from the command prompt. So like Docker space login. And once I did that, I'm used to get the message like like this, like port has been already allocated. So since because the port has been already allocated, so now I just change the port number to use the command like docker space run space -p 3001:3001, and the username slash the application name which I've given here, and it's just given an output like app running at http://localhost:3000. Okay, isn't it amazing? So once I've copied the URL and once I pasted in his browser, I used to get this output like hello docker. Is it clear? Okay, if it is super clear, you just post super clear Sanjay in a live chat. So in this whole process, just carefully watch. In my laptop, I've installed Docker. And after that, I just created an account. And then I've created my own application to print the message like hello Docker. And once I've created an application, I just converted that into a Docker image through the instruction which has been given in the Docker file. And once it has been done, I just tested out by using a docker space run space -p 3000:3000 space application name. When I did that, I just shown the message like localhost 3000. So when I've given that in the browser, it just printed the message like hello Docker. So here, I just run an application from my Docker image in my own laptop. But the Docker is very important, application is, even though you are a remote user, haven't installed any packages which you have did, they should able to run that application, or they really want to test their application or anything. So to do that, what we guys have did is we guys have converted, we just push that Docker image into the Docker Hub in the name like your username slash your application name and etc. So once you have given that, when on the remote side, so it has already been my application already present in the Docker Hub. So now my remote user or my colleague, they can able to install the Docker in their laptop. Okay, they should also install the Docker in their laptop, and they should do a login. Okay, so I hope you already know this procedure. It's very simple. So in the remote side user, so they want to install Docker first, and wait a minute. So they should install the Docker in their system, and they should enable it. First of all, they should open Docker. Okay, and they want to do a login in Docker, and in their command prompt, okay, cmd in their command prompt. So they really want to first log in the Docker through the CLI command line interface. So Docker space login. So once they have given it, so they are going to get logged in. Once they have logged in, they need to give the username. For an example, based on the demo, they should give Sanjay Pantek AI / application name. So whenever they have given it, so they'll be getting an output. So if they are getting an output like a 3000 port number has been already allocated, you can reset it in your Docker application, or you can just change your port number to 3001:3001. So it is going to be executed in the output. Okay, is it amazing, guys? Is it super clear? If it is super clear, you just post super clear Sanjay in live chat. Even I always wanted you guys to read the documentation, Docker. What to say? Let me type Docker documentation PDF. Okay, you can check that out. And Docker itself, they used to provide the docs for you. You can just go there and you just refer the complete documentation. Okay, look out that on each and every different category like Docker Desktop or Docker Engine or Docker Building or Docker Compose, as I've already told you on Docker Hub. So likewise, all the documentation which has been given here, you just go and read all those documentation. Like for here and guides and manuals out there. So browse the CLI and API documentation. CLI is nothing but the command line interface. So whenever we are opening the command prompt and we are giving instructions through the command line, right? That's what through the command prompt, right? So that is what that CLI is. So in that CLI, if you are giving like the Docker space, Docker _API_ version, it is going to show the version of the Docker which you are using. So this is all the complete documentation. Go and read it. Based on the need, you need to use that. And the upcoming days, I'll try to deploy the same application which you have created previously through the Docker. Okay, so I hope you really got it. And for the paid participants, this material, this complete detailed material which is going to be given for you, you can just make use of it. And even once you have created the Docker file and once it started getting accessed by your team or anything. So if you really want to remove the Docker containers, as we have already know, if you really want to stop and then remove the containers, you can use the option like docker-compose space down. So whenever you are giving that, it is going to stop and remove the containers. Even if you really want to remove that complete application image, you can use the RMI command. So docker space RMI space my app and your username / my app. If it is not working, you just delete this my app and you can just execute it. So that image which has been already present in the Docker hub, it is going to be completely removed. Okay, so guys, is it clear? So that's what the Docker is. And on the upcoming part, actually this day is being separated into different categories. On the upcoming parts, we are going to work on the Git and then GitHub, because without knowing a Git and then GitHub, we can't able to do a CI/CD pipeline testing and all. So first of all, we are going to step into the Git and then GitHub, and then we are moving on to the CI/CD, and then we are going to move on to the deployment through Heroku and those things. Okay, I hope you really enjoyed this part of the session. If you really enjoyed it, you just post "I enjoyed" in your live chat. So that's what is all about the today's session on Docker. So we are converting our application into an image file, and we are going to push into the Docker hub. So whenever any people who really need that application, they can able to easily access it with the help of the that username, and with the help of the Docker especially. They don't want to install anything which I have installed. So okay, I hope you are clear with this. So thank you so much once again for watching or completing this session. So we'll see you in the next session.